We finally got to see the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo presentation. There was some good, there was some bad, there were some things we were excited for, some things we were worried about, and a lot of awful translations.
Horrible translations!
So let's get into it. Hey guys.
Hi guys.
Alright, so Nintendo Switch, man, we're something we're very, very excited for, and we want to talk about so much about it and what we saw and what we're excited for, what we're disappointed in. The presentation was a little hard to watch.
It was so boring. Not necessarily boring, it was interesting to watch, but the translators were extremely dull.
They kind of made it really bad. I mean, obviously, it's the Japanese way, kind of. They're not like, you know, America, where they really get behind things and excited. They're kind of...
It's not very over-the-top vibrant.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, and here's what we have, and this is what we're going to present and show. And we're like, alright, where's the fireworks?
So it was a little hard to watch, but the last few days we wanted to kind of watch some of this and see exactly what is going on with the Switch, a little more knowledge, a little more videos. So let's get into this. There's a lot we learned. Number one, we finally got a price and a date for release.
Yes!
$299, and it's coming out March 3rd, so it's pretty soon.
It's very quick. I'm excited. Price point seems to be kind of, it's not terrible.
It's okay. It's $249 would have been a great price.
$249 would have been like, alright, I can get behind
this. But I totally understand why $299, a lot of electronics going in here.
We also learned that there are going to be two different versions available for pre-order. The standard gray and the neon blue and red. Joy-Cons.
Joy-Cons, yeah. So that's the interesting thing. I think we're probably going to go with the gray.
I'm going to go with the gray. I mean, the neon blue and the red is just, it looks cool, it looks great, but
little too kiddie.
I like the cohesiveness of the gray.
Yeah. I want it
so
to,
nice
we have a gray console in PS4, we have a white console in the Xbox.
We're very boring.
Yeah, I don't want the
colors.
bright, kind of tacky colors.
We also learned that there are going to be 3 different ways to play this. We kind of already saw this. You're going to have tabletop mode, TV mode, and handheld mode.
Yeah, I'm really excited for tabletop.
I am too.
That's the one I'm so excited for.
Something new.
You kick that little kickstand out, man, that's going to be great. The console is the screen. That's what the console is, and you're able to plug that into the docking station, which then turns it into your television.
Yes.
You can pull that off and take it with you and have your Joy-Cons on. On the sides, that's the handheld. And you can also take the Joy-Cons off the side of the console, and then that would be tabletop mode, where you kick the kickstand out. I take a Joy-Con, you take a Joy-Con, and we can play split screen or just separate. We also learned that the controller has Wi-Fi. That was kind of an obvious assumption. The console is only going to have 2.5 to 6 hours of playtime. That's a pretty wide range.
That's a huge range.
They said that Zelda was going to be 3 hours, which I'm going to say is probably going to be the standard.
Yeah.
How many games are actually going to go to 6 hours? I highly doubt very many.
Yeah, it's got to be a simple game that doesn't require a whole lot.
Yeah. So 3 hours, that's like, I don't know. However, that's okay, because they actually said that you can plug in an external battery to it.
Right, and
so
charge
that's completely okay.
Yes.
Get your little battery pack and play on it for another 6 hours, honestly.
And you can charge while you're playing, so
which is another
fantastic.
great feature. The screen is 6.2 inches, so it's about the size of an iPad mini, and has a 1280 by 720 resolution on the screen, which is okay, I think. I think actually iPad minis are 720, not 1080.
I think they are. I'm not quite sure.
It's not super like amazing resolution, but 720 is okay for the size of it.
Right.
It also has 32 gigabytes of internal hard drive. It's not a lot, but they do give you the option to plug in SD cards, so you can upgrade the hard drive. The screen is also touchpad. That was something we were wondering about. We did find out it is a touchpad. And the one thing that I think is really cool, you're going to be able to connect 8 of these things.
You get to have 8 of these going. You're going to have 2 people per console, so 16 people at once. That is awesome.
I can imagine. When I was playing PlayStation 1 way back in the day, we had those weird hubs, those little triangles that you could plug in. I think maybe
I remember that.
6? I think we were able to get 6 or something like that. No, you could get 4 and then 1. 5, I believe, is what we could get. Unbelievable. It was so awesome.
It was mind-blowing.
So fun. So for kids, it's kind of a kid thing. How many adults are actually going to be able to do this?
I mean,
unless you have a party, obviously.
Right, as you say, parties,
Smash parties or something. Man, when you're a kid, if you have like driving games or anything, we'll talk about other games here in a minute, but man, that has some super potential.
Definitely.
As far as the console and Joy-Cons go, we also learned that you can scan amiibos still. Right. So that's obviously a good thing too. You can keep the amiibo thing going. They keep making all their money. Now, speaking of the Joy-Cons, these were strange. I wasn't expecting what I saw on the screen. Number one, small. That's the one thing.
They are very, very tiny. Even for my hands, I think these are going to be a little bit too small.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about the size of those, because, you know, when you're playing them sideways, I'm just kind of a little worried about that.
Yeah, it looks like you're holding a mini remote controller.
So they showed us that, and they showed us it has shoulder pads on it.
Right.
Shoulder buttons, so that was interesting. I didn't know that was going to happen. And they also have an option where you can slide it on the top rail and kind of expand it, where you have the shoulder buttons that are a little more
And it has a
prevalent.
wrist wrap on it, too,
And
so you don't throw it.
Not a Wii again.
Yeah, we don't want cracked televisions
No.
again.
Now, speaking of Wii, they were really trying to play into that motion control again.
Yes.
Where they showed us the ice cube thing that it's got
Where you
HD Rumble! Their experiment was, hey, look, you can feel each piece of ice
Individual
and
ice
water.
cubes and shake and hear, and,
Yeah.
and it can sense how far your hand is.
Yeah.
Like, all right, that's cool, but, you know, shake a glass of ice.
Yeah, I think everybody's watching it like, no.
Okay.
This was at the beginning, too. Like, where's this going, guys? Come on, get to the game.
Yeah.
So the controllers seem interesting. The Joy-Cons. We gotta get used to saying it.
The Joy-Cons.
Joy-Cons. What was that really tacky thing they said when you play together? Like, you take a Joy-Con and I take a Joy-Con?
Yes.
He said, that's what we call joy...
That's what we call spreading the joy.
Sharing the joy or something. Oh, it was
We're
awful.
both like, what?
Now, speaking of those, like we saw, you have the option to pre-order one that has a neon red and a neon blue. Those are the only other colors besides gray that they're giving us the option for.
Right. As of right now.
Yeah, as of right now, I'm sure a million different colors are going to come out, and obviously sleeves and stuff from
Right.
China or whatever. Whoever's going to make them, there's going to be a billion of them, I'm sure. I am not a super fan of the colors that they chose.
I'm not either. I feel like they could have chose a better color scheme, but I mean the neon's nice, it's different, but everything is always red and blue.
I just don't care for it. It seems a little childish to me. To have separate colors seems
It'd
weird.
have been nice to
One
have
blue,
some
one
kind of
red.
like a pattern or something on one.
Now, if you do want other ones, like if you guys make a mistake and you go out and buy the red and the blue, or
like,
you decide to buy the gray and you want the other ones,
Or
if you
God
want,
forbid you break one.
yeah, or God forbid you break one. If you have to buy two of them, $80. That's what's going to set you
Yes.
back at, just to get those two Joy-Cons. $80, and one of them's $50. So if you just want one, you might as well buy both of them.
Right, I mean you might as well splurge for $30 more and get two instead of one.
And you got to buy them left and right. So
Yeah.
you know they're different. They're actually different. The left and the right looks different and does different things. So it's going to be a little interesting there. We also saw different controllers and all the things that you can buy when
Right.
this thing drops. Number one, we saw the Pro controller.
Right, we did.
Pro controller looks interesting.
It does look interesting. I like that it's your standard controller. However, I'm disappointed that you can't use the Wii U controller
Yeah, the
on this.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a normal thing I guess Nintendo
I
does.
guess,
It just
that
sucks because
sucks.
you know that's it. No more of the Pro controller that we were able to carry on from the Wii to the
Right.
Wii U and all that. So that's kind of a bummer. We have to buy something new. $70 is what that Pro controller will set you back. Just seems a little high. I mean that is literally going to be the highest priced controller, normal controller. Even though they say it's Pro, it's not really Pro. It's just
Yeah.
a controller. Yeah, $70, that's high. That
That's
seems a little
very
high.
high.
There's also going to be a Joy-Con charging grip. Now what this is $30, so it's a pretty good price. There's not a whole lot to it though, it's just plastic. You plug in on the side your Joy-Cons. That's what you do when you play your TV mode. You saw the controller, it's a strange little controller, I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
Looks kind of like the computer controller, it's very strange. But $30, that's what it's going to cost if you break that. That's a decent price, I
It's
suppose.
not a terrible price.
The thing that I'm really excited for that I don't think is getting enough love is a Nintendo Switch dock set. $89 is what it's going to set you back at. Ooh, that's a little high, right? No, because this is cool. This is actually really cool.
It's very cool.
It's just a, you know, you've seen the console. It plugs into this little thing,
Like
right?
a
This little box.
dock.
Yeah, a little dock set.
Yeah.
You can actually buy extra of those and plug them into other televisions inside your house.
Mm-hmm.
And then the console, which we got to get used to calling a console. The screen is the console, basically. You can plug that into any of these dock sets around your house, and then boom, it's on your television. So it's like the big sister, the better child of the PlayStation. What was it? PlayStation TV thing was
Yeah.
awful. They're like, hey, buy this little box, and then you can play any of your games on it. Oh crap,
Yeah.
that thing didn't work worth
It
a
was
crap.
awful.
This will definitely work because it is what it is. I mean, it works.
Right.
So I'm really, really excited for that. $89. I'm not gonna buy it for that. No way. You know. However, I'm sure the price will go cheaper the longer
I'm
we go, right?
sure it'll go cheaper. Plus, there are going to be more accessories that will
Yeah.
come out down the road, and other things will come down in price.
Maybe aftermarket, somebody will make one too
That's
for like
true.
half the price. It always
True.
happens, right? So hopefully that'll happen. That'll be great. I really think that's a great thing they're
Somebody
doing.
needs to go out there and buy one of these and remake it.
And we got to remember, this is a handheld attempting to be a console. It is
Yes,
not a
it
console that is also a handheld.
And one thing that came out on the Wii, the Wii U, and now on the Nintendo Switch is the steering wheel set for your Joy-Con controllers.
Yeah.
You get 2 steering wheels for $15.
Good price.
I'm excited. It's a very good price. I love those steering wheels for Mario Kart,
Yeah.
and I have to have them again.
I remember when we bought them for the Wii originally. You got one for $25,
so
something crazy,
expensive.
just a little plastic thing. So at least the prices have come down, and
I mean, it's a
you
piece
get
of
2 now.
plastic, yeah. Up next, the games, or lack thereof.
Where were they? Okay, we saw some, obviously. Now, the things that are going to be available for launch. Woo!
Yeah, maybe 3.
Yeah, not a whole lot. But here's the games that we did see. Some of them. 1-2 Switch.
I'm excited for this game. I think it's going to be a fun game for parties. Hey, what was that like?
No.
I think it looks kind of fun. I've always wanted to have a duel, but not have to worry about the repercussions.
How about that milking the cow game?
That looks a little strange.
That thing needs to be censored. This is literally just like Wii Sports, sort of.
It is.
But Wii Sports was a pack-in when you bought the Wii.
It was.
This is gonna be a full-grown freaking game! They want like the $60 for it. There's no way I would pay $60 for it.
No, I would pay like $10.
It's a gimmick. All it is a gimmick. This is what I am really kind of worried about that I'll talk about later. I really think Switch needs to stay away from the gimmickness.
I agree.
Gimmickiness. Whatever you want to call that. Thing is, I got so much to say. So the Wii, it was like, everybody loved it. It was new on the market. It was amazing. Old people were buying them. Young people were buying them. It was great. Then the Wii U came out and everybody was like, I don't really want to do it. You know, you play a little bit and then it was over.
Yeah.
Well, now they're kind of carrying that on and I'm kind of worried about that. I wonder if they made this game to originally be a pack-in or carry-in.
I'm sure it was.
And then they realized, oh crap, we have no games.
We have no games.
So just make it one that you have to buy separately. How about this? You're going to look in my eyes and play. We're not going to look at the screen or nothing. We're just going to draw, boom. No,
I'm not paying $60 to look into your eyes. Sorry, honey.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. This has already been out, right? So, not the deluxe version, but it was already out on the Wii U, so we're going to get it back. Strangely, not at launch.
Yeah.
A month later, actually, which is a little weird to me. I think that would have been a very important game to come out. Because I think a lot of people didn't go to the Wii U. I think they went from the Wii and then didn't understand what the Wii U was.
Right.
They thought it was like another. They thought the controller was just an extra piece you could buy.
Exactly.
So that could have been a very important game. They really should have got that out any way possible.
Yes, I think they probably tried to do that, but for some reason something didn't transition and it just took a little bit longer.
We're going to sell the steering wheels with no game to play steering wheel. Maybe they have it in the 1-2 Switch. I don't know, whatever. ARMS! I'm
kind of excited for this game. It looks so
It does look
stupid,
fun.
but I'm so excited to play it because I think it could be, one, a pretty decent workout, and two, I think it would just be interesting to knock you out.
Well, I think it looks fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, I would like to play it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't buy it as a full-blown game, I don't think.
No.
But I do think it looks fun, but it's one of those games you're going to play for a while, I'm like, alright, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly what happened to Wii. The last two consoles for Nintendo have been dust collectors. You know, you buy it, you love it for a little bit, and then it sits on the shelf and waits for a game or, you know, goes past it and collects dust.
Yes.
That's what this game's going to do, I think. You're going to play it right at launch, like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then you're never going to play it again.
Well, you'll bring it out at party, and then you'll put it back in. They also showed Splatoon 2. I love Splatoon, so I'm excited we're going to get Splatoon 2.
Yes.
Although...
They missed a big...
They missed it.
They could have done this, man. Splatoon. They really missed that.
They did. They dropped the ball. They could have really nailed that one.
So they show that we're going to get some new guns and, you know, new things. Splatoon's awesome, so...
The guy who was doing that presentation, I could not stop laughing. He had personality for days.
But the commentator was like...
He was just like...
gun.
What?
Shoot. And that was it, guys. It was
thank
weird.
you very much.
Thank you.
It was so awkward.
Super Mario Odyssey. This is the game that I'm most excited for.
I'm very excited for this game. I think graphically this is going to be really nice because you're going to have that transition from Mario World to real world, and I think this is going to be fantastic.
Isn't that weird? Like Mario in the real world?
They also showed Mario in the real world with the Olympics traveling from Japan to Brazil.
They did.
So I thought that was kind of fun. Maybe it was their little subtle hint of, haha,
Mario's coming to the real world. Yeah, interesting. And he uses his hat now.
Yes.
So his hat's like a real...
It has eyes.
I'm a real boy or something. I don't know.
That's kind of creepy.
Kind of interesting. I mean, this Mario game, it looks amazing. So definitely going to play that. They also showed games like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. You know, you're not going to see a lot there. They also showed a new Fire Emblem game. But most importantly, the last one that they really wanted to draw you on a string. It took forever. We already knew it was going to happen.
Right.
The only launch game that matters, Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Right. That one's going to be available at launch, so that's going to be great for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, because that's not a game they're going to be able to buy.
That's the only game you're going to get. You're going to have either Zelda or 1-2 Switch.
I mean,
that's your
they're going to sell out of Legends of Zelda because there's going to be no other games to buy.
Gone.
What's strange is this is actually the fewest amount of launch games that Nintendo has ever done, including the Wii, the Wii U, and the 3DS. Wow.
That's insane.
My
question is, what are they going to do if people are like, I don't want 1-2 Switch, and all they have is
Zelda? Or
Zelda?
I don't want to play Zelda. Not everybody's a Zelda fan.
All right,
now
so...
what?
Do you have games that are going to come with it, just like little freebies? Like, how are they going to address
That'd be interesting.
this? Yeah.
Now, those were first-party support. They had a little bit of third-party support. The one that I think is actually the most important, Skyrim. You know, they showed Skyrim. I know everybody really wants to pretend that's like a huge deal, but, you know, been there, done that. I played that in, what, 2011 or something?
Been out for a few years.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that we can take Skyrim on the go. That's awesome.
Right.
But I want to see other things. I mean, that was 2011. Let's see something different.
Something new.
Why not Fallout? Or something. Like, that would have been cool. We also saw FIFA, so EA is like, hey guys, we're back.
Hey, we're back.
Even though
we're here to
we cut you off back in the day, we're back. We're going to be here with FIFA.
Right.
Which was still very awkward. These third-party support came up there and be like, hey, we're here, we're going to do something.
We're cool.
We're just going to see what happens. So FIFA, I mean, it's the biggest sports game in the world, so people are going to obviously play it. We'll see what happens in the future. Did see that NBA 2K is going to be on there too. Whereas Madden, we'll see if Madden comes on there. Saw a Sonic game, saw Just Dance, Minecraft. I mean, there were all kinds of games that are going to be coming out. I think they said over 80 titles.
Yeah, something
eventually.
like that.
So we'll see what that means. PlayStation said the same thing, and it was all like, not good games.
They kind of brushed that under the rug.
Yeah.
But most importantly, no region lock. So if a game comes out in Japan, we can play it here in the States.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
That's big. That's really big.
Huge. Huge. It's so huge.
So those are the games, not a lot to play. They also said something very interesting. Online's paid service now.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be free up until the fall of 2017. So,
what does it include, right? We're thinking, okay, online service. This has been a really poor showing for Nintendo for a long time, their online service. And I think for a reason, because they're kind of a kids. They kind of market themselves as kids. We don't want them to be online, yada, yada, yada. Well, that's fine and all. We don't know a whole lot about the online service. All we know basically is we're going to get one game from either SNES or NES.
Right.
Whatever that means, we'll have to see, and I don't really know if that means you're going to play it during that month, or you have 1 month to download it, like PlayStation. They didn't really make that super clear, I think. This is where it gets weird. This is where it gets super weird.
This is where it gets weird.
It's basically an app. That's what the online service is an app. So you can download it on your phone, and you can, like, invite your friends through this app. You can create, like, times when you're going to go out and play, and voice chat.
Yeah.
Through your phone, or not necessarily your phone, but I guess anything you have, your iPad, whatever.
Right, a tablet.
What do you think about that?
I think it's a little strange and it's a little weird. And my question is, one, what's it going to cost?
Yes.
Because I feel like the cost of this is definitely going to dictate whether or not people want to subscribe to it.
Yeah, because how many people actually play... I mean, there are obviously games to play online on Nintendo. But I feel like Nintendo's base service, they just play single-player games. That's kind of Nintendo's thing.
Or couch co-op.
Now it's couch co-op, so you have... that's what's really awesome about the system, is it's going to be great for couch co-op. So I wonder, that's going to... Like you said, a lot of that's going to be dictated on the price. What is that thing going to cost? If it's going to be like $60, like the big two...
Right. I probably won't pay for that service.
No, it's got to be cheap. I know you like to market yourself as sort of a children's console.
Right.
But if we're going to pay for an online service, you better come with the adult stuff. We're going to need to be able to download any app. We're going to need to be able to voice chat. We're going to need all those things that Xbox and PlayStation give us.
Absolutely.
Voice chat and more. It's Nintendo, so we want more, right? So that's going to be interesting. It's going to have to be cheap.
It's going to have to be cheap, and if they have all of the options that you can get with Xbox and PlayStation, it might be worth paying a little bit more. But if all I'm going to have is just this random app, I'm only going to want to pay like $15 a year.
Yeah, and games. So what kind of games do you think they're going to give away? Nintendo doesn't like to give away their games.
No.
So this could be a PlayStation situation where they give us the weirdest games. Like I said, it's going to have to be very adult. I mean, it's going to need to be an adult situation when you're online where you can talk and everything like that, not have any parental problems there. Now, speaking of parental problems, they did show us that there's going to be another app, I guess, a parental controls app. That's actually a really good idea and might show us the future of the online service where it will be catered to adults.
I think the parental control app is a great app because what you can do is you can set time limits, you can change those time limits for the weekend, and you can also program it to shut the TV off after playing for so long. Great move for parents, because if you tell your kids, all right, you can play for an hour, be in bed by 9 o'clock, you can shut that down at 9 o'clock and make them go to bed.
It really is a good idea. I mean, you do want to cater for kids. That's what this is. The games, a lot of them are great for kids because it's not the... I don't want to say trash because I played it when I was a kid, but the older you get, you realize, wow, maybe I shouldn't have played that, but really it didn't affect me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you don't want your 7-year-old playing Call of Duty or something. Right. So those games like Mario are great for them. It sure would be nice to be able to just sit on the couch and be like, all right, he's been on for 3 hours, man. Boom, you're gone, boy! That's good. That's a really good idea.
Right. Well, plus you also get a report at the end of the month telling you what games your child's played the most of, how long they played. I think that's really interesting.
It's a good idea. It's just a good idea. So that's basically what we know now at this point for the Nintendo Switch. A lot of good things, a lot of bad things. What are you most excited for?
I'm most excited for the possibilities that this opens up. The fact that you can switch it apart and snap it, and then both of us can play. We can take it on the go with us. We could take it on vacation or camping. I love the possibilities of what this opens up.
You know, 3DS is great, but it only gives you so great of a game.
Yeah, you're kind of constricted to a certain box, and this opens that box. It opens Pandora's box for
it gives you
to
a
play.
full-fledged game.
Right.
I mean, imagine going to the park or something, or whatever, and you sit on a picnic table and you bring out your Nintendo Switch and play 2K or something.
Right.
I mean, that's awesome, but I think they really need to stay away from what the old day was. Stop worrying about the Wii. I know it sold great, but people stopped playing it.
Right.
You know, that was the thing. They sold a ton of consoles, and then it just stopped because nobody wanted it anymore. It was over. It was a fad. So I wouldn't say, I don't think it's a good idea to play into that motion control thing. I really think they should bring this to the new age, and I know you didn't put the power in it that necessarily a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox has in it. But if there's just enough power like a PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, I guess it'll be okay. But that also leads to problems, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I think that just the potential to take it with you anywhere and play a real game. Not that 3DS doesn't have real games, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, a full-fledged AAA title, that's amazing to me.
It is.
That is awesome.
I'm excited for the parties and the things that you can do with all of your friends, the possibility of having 16 people at once. That's just amazing to me.
And if you do have kids or you have family that come over that are young, you don't have to give them your television.
You don't have to give up football on Christmas
you
and
can
New
just,
Year's.
You can just put this little thing on the floor. Instead of them having an iPad in their hands and getting it dirty or mucky or whatever, you put this thing on the floor, you give them one Joy-Con, you give the other kid a Joy-Con and let them do Mario Kart or something. That, once again, is some crazy potential.
Well, it also opens it up to where adults can play with kids at different gatherings so that the kids aren't separated into their iPad.
If you're at a family reunion for maybe your wife's family or vice versa, and you're like, I hate these people. I don't want to be here. You just bring your thing and be like, hey, let's just play and just stay over here in the corner so they don't recognize us.
Oh my god.
Nintendo Switch families. It's going to be great. Now the bad. I think the bad is just as important to talk about.
Yes.
And I don't want to say bad. It's things that I worry about. Definitely concerns. We bought into the Wii. We bought the Wii U. Both good I don't want to say the Wii was a good console. I just thought it was great. It was groundbreaking.
So much fun.
Yeah, we had so much fun. The Wii U was a good console, in my opinion.
I liked it.
I thought the Wii U was a really great console. But we know what happened. And I'm worried that they are kind of playing on that. This whole motion control thing, I think it still is a fad. We saw it with PlayStation Move. It was a fad. It went away. Now they're trying to bring it back with VR. Is VR a fad? Maybe. Probably. We'll see.
But those VR fails.
Yeah, the VR fails are awesome. I really wish they would cater to the game. The gamer.
I agree.
And not the motion control. Ooh, look what this thing can do. I'm just worried that they're taking a lot of their time and effort and putting it into all this like special technology. And I know Nintendo loves to do it, and we love Nintendo for it.
Right.
But I think just what you've done with a handheld television console machine, that's all you need to do. I don't think you need to go farther than that.
My biggest worry with this is the fact that there aren't very many games at launch. So then, like we've already pointed out, if there aren't any games, people aren't going to want the console, so then sales are going to drop. So then in turn, people aren't going to make new games, and it's just a vicious cycle it could fail.
It could be. That's worrisome. It is worrisome. You had all these third-party titles and companies that are like, we're going to be there eventually. It makes you feel like they're just kind of like, we're going to see what happens.
The water.
And my worry is, if, say, somebody doesn't like Zelda, and maybe they already played Mario Kart. Or maybe they're going to buy Zelda on Wii U, and they already played Mario Kart. And there's no reason to buy a Switch. I'm worried, which I'm sure it's not going to happen. People are going to go crazy for the console. The pre-orders aren't going to be there, and then people are going to be sitting there stagnant, and nobody's going to be buying games, and then they're going to go back to their PlayStation and Xbox and never go to it. And then third-party titles are going to be like, well, it's the same thing as Wii U. We're going to kind of bounce, and you're going to have to do your Mario thing and Zelda and all that. And then Nintendo's going to take a really long time between games because they make good games and they don't throw crap out. And then it's going to take longer, and then we're going to move back into a Wii U situation where there are no games and people have stopped buying it, and you can buy them for $200 on a shelf, and then they have to say, well, we tried. Yeah. That is worrisome to me.
That scares me, and I hope that doesn't happen so we can all just keep our fingers crossed. Pre-order, get Zelda if you don't like Zelda, so we can make sure this console is a success.
I'm also worried about the online service. I'm worried about that price, like I said. If it's too high, that could hurt a lot of things. I want to play online, but I might not want to pay Nintendo.
Right. I mean, it depends on what kind of services they're going to offer.
Are we still going to be a number? Right. Can we please be a name now?
Yes.
Truth be told, I don't really want to pay for it anyways, because I have an Xbox, I have a PlayStation, I really don't want to pay another service fee. Now we're talking almost $200 a year.
Right.
Maybe. We'll see what the price costs to play video games. That online, that's a lot, really.
That is a lot. I mean, that's almost a console.
But if anybody's going to make something groundbreaking, it's going to be Nintendo.
Of course,
so we'll have to see what
always
happens
ahead
here.
in that.
I also am a little worried about the colors. I don't like the colors. Hopefully they'll come out with new colors. I'm sure they will have a million different things. This is always the bad thing. You buy a console at launch, and then like a month later they bring out this really cool special edition console.
I mean, Nintendo is notorious for having amazing 3DS designs, so I know they're going to have designs for this soon.
I know, and that's the thing. Wouldn't you love to have one that was like a NES looking or something? Just something cool like that. But that's what's going to happen. We're going to buy one, and like 2 months down the line they're going to have some amazing Mario one. Like, darn.
And then we're going to need a second one.
But most importantly for me, it's third-party support. This is something I need. I get it. It's a Nintendo console. They really kind of need to worry about that. I don't think that's how this is going to work, though. Not this time around. Nintendo has failed with the Wii U. And even though it was a great success, the Wii was, in terms, a little bit of a failure because not a lot of people played it after that first couple of years. And like in Japan and most of the world, most people are playing 3DSs, not even any other consoles. America's kind of one of the only places that really played a console version in anything Nintendo. So that worries me, and I think third-party support is really going to be key. I would love a day, because we grew up playing Nintendo as Nintendo was the big boy.
Yes, Nintendo was my baby.
Yeah, Nintendo, nothing could touch Nintendo. Like, Nintendo had all the newest games, the coolest games, everything. I wish that day would come back, honestly. I would love Nintendo to say, you know, look what we can do, PlayStation, look what we can do, Xbox. Instead of them saying, well, we'll do this, so you can do that, and you stay over there. I want to see Nintendo go head-to-head and be like, no, what are you going to buy it for?
I miss the day of when Nintendo dominated the market and everybody tried to be Nintendo, and now it's kind of like what you said, there's this separation between Nintendo and then all the other consoles.
Yeah, because they're always going to have their titles. And Xbox and PlayStation will never have that. But I would love to have the choice, what console am I going to buy Grand Theft on?
Exactly.
Something like that. You know, I would love that. The power is what worries me. And, you know, more than likely, we're going to see new things because Nintendo will do this. 2 years from now, you're going to be able to buy a bigger screen console. You're going to buy new controller-looking things. You know, all these new peripherals will come out. So, yeah, I mean, who knows what the future's going to show. I'm just a little worried at what we saw, the lack of games, and so them really kind of pushing these motion controls that I don't think are important. They didn't really exist with 3DS, and 3DS sold better and were played more than the Wii's. So who knows? So that is our opinions. I mean, some things we loved. Love the kickstand. Kickstand is amazing. I also love that they're cartridges.
Yes, I do. I like that.
Bring me back to the cartridge days.
Exactly.
I don't want to deal with the disc. Of course, you kind of have to deal with cartridges when you're talking about a handheld. You know, you don't want to throw discs in there. That's bad news, right? But with that, how about one thing that nobody's really talking about? Is a parent going to let their kid take their $300 console out of the house?
I highly doubt it. I mean, $300, what if they drop it and then shatter it or something?
It looks breakable to me.
It does.
You know, now granted, the Wii U's controller actually was pretty tough.
It was.
But if you're a parent, you're going to go out and buy this console for your kid for $300 plus, what's going to happen there? Like, are you going to, if your kid says, I'm going to go out to the park and play with my friends, are the parents going to be like, no, you're not. You're going to keep it here. Take your 3DS with you. Yeah, so that's going to be up for debate. We'll have to see what happens there. Alright guys, so that was our Nintendo Switch opinions. What are yours? Are you excited? Were you bummed? Did you have high expectations that they didn't meet? Or did you have low expectations that they did meet? Are you going to pre-order? Are we going to pre-order?
We are going to pre-order.
We're going to go with the gray, right? Not the red and blue.
Gray.
We'll see what happens there.
We have to pre-order. I'm so excited for the possibilities in the future, so I have to have one.
Yeah, this is what we do, right? You know, people, we buy things right away, even though we know it's probably a bad idea.
Right. Well, we're collectors of consoles anyway, so I have to have it just for the collection, even if it fails.
I just think they should have had a throw-in game. That's the bad thing. I don't know if I want to necessarily buy Zelda. I would have rather bought the Mario Kart.
You know, we might just have a console and have no games for it. We'll see.
Back to the Wii U days. Alrighty guys, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye.